Hey, and welcome to Personal Finance 101. Last week I explained I was going to be doing 5 little videos to try and help you manage your money better. I am no expert in this. I am definitely a novice. I'm not a chartered financial analyst. I have not graduated from some fancy business school with a degree in economics. However, I have learned a lot of lessons, gone through a lot of pain, made some silly decisions and learned some practical things along the way that have really helped me. And I hope if they've helped me, then it will help you too. Last week I talked about having a financial goal to work towards so that you know how you can and should be spending your money. At least it will help guide that a little bit. Also, know where you're at. What's your net worth? Have you tied up your assets and your liabilities? Once you've done that, you have a good picture for your starting point, like a diagnostic, or having your measurements done at the start of a diet or a program at the gym. Once you've got that, what do you then need to do? Well, that comes in today for session 2, getting a grip on a system. So lots of people run to the hills when they hear the word budget because they think, oh gosh, I'm going to be so constrained, I'm going to be restricted, and I just want to live my life, and I just want to be free, and I just want to wear tie-dye and live in the woods. And I mean, that's one of the things that I think about sometimes. But do remember, money management, personal finance is incredibly emotional. The way that you spend money is influenced by your upbringing, by your culture, by the things that you've seen done well, the things that you've seen not done all that well either. Human beings tend to run from pain or to pleasure, and that will influence the way that you use your money. So if you know that spending money is emotional, you know it's not really as simple as managing a budget for an organization when it comes to managing money for yourself, because you have yourself in the mix with all of your emotions. If that's all true, what do you need? Well, you need a system to mitigate against yourself or work with yourself. Now, you don't want to feel hamstrung in this. You could have a budget spreadsheet just so you can see all the things that you need to spend money on, so your expenditure, all your income, where your money's coming from, any bills that you have and when those bills are due. That's particularly useful, and I'll come on to that in a second. Or you could have a basic structure, such as the one that Scott Pape recommends in The Barefoot Investor, or Manisha Thakor with her Healthy Spending Pyramid. What do they talk about? Well, Scott Pape, for example, what he mentions is he allocates 60% of his income to his daily expenses straight away. So that's your food, that's your rent, that's your utilities, anything that you need to live. That's your first 60%. The next 20% goes straight to savings. Whack it in an account separately so you've got an idea as to what ultimately isn't yours. It's already spoken for. So 20% to those savings, working towards your savings goals, whatever they may be. 10% then is to you. So that's the money that you use for fun. So it could be cinema, it could be books, could be cruising around the Gold Coast in a limo, whatever takes your fancy. And then after that, another 10% goes to your medium-term savings goal. So it could be a holiday, could be something that you're working towards, like an investment, for example, but something that you can't quite spend right now, but maybe in a couple of months you'll need. So 60% daily expenses, 20% your fun money, 10% goes to your 50% for him, it goes to his daily expenses, 20% goes to savings, gosh, got that mixed up, 10% to your fun money, and 10% to your medium-term saving. Now, whatever it is for you, you've got to have a system. You could have something loose and broad like that, which actually works a lot better for me, or the budget spreadsheet, Google Doc, as I mentioned, and I'll put a link to one of those underneath. The idea being that you know exactly where your money's going. Once you've got that system, here's something I would recommend. Pay yourself first. There's nothing more disenfranchising or disappointing than when your money comes in, either you have to spend it all on the man, it all goes out to bills, and you feel super grumpy and be like, oh, well, I did have X amount of dollars or pounds in my bank account, but it's now all gone to Y. It can really weigh down on you. Or you become a payday millionaire, your money comes in, and you're like, yeah, guys, I'm going to buy you this. Would you like a drink? Yeah. Would you like a book? Yeah. Do you want a trip to the Algarve? Yeah. And then a week later, you're eating beans out of a tin. Best thing to do is to pay yourself first so you feel satisfied. One, you can see the money that you've got to spend. Maybe that's 10% that Scott Pape mentioned. Or 2, you just know that you have given yourself the benefit first. You've earned that money. You want to feel the positive emotion, the serotonin release of knowing that that money is yours. Once you've paid yourself, then definitely pay the man. Pay all your bills on payday. I would recommend as much as you can align them with your pay cycle. If you can't, why don't you use one of those other pots of money, your short-term savings, for example, to allocate the money to, in order that when the bills come in, you can take it from there and it's not taken out of your fun money or your daily expenses. I would even go as far as Jafar. Love Aladdin. I would even go as far as to create different accounts in your bank account in line with whatever your structure is. So say for me, I have daily expenses. So that's where all my salary goes straight into. After that, I then take 10% and that goes into my Smile account. Each of these accounts having a card. Smile is for my day-to-day fun. So books, I keep saying books, I don't actually read that many, fun living. Then the other funds go into the other two accounts, one for my medium-term savings and one for long-term savings. So whatever system it is that you have, why don't you create accounts around that in order that you can look in your app and see exactly where your money sits. It means that you're not going to have those awkward moments when you turn up to the cash machine and hope and pray that there's going to be enough money in there for you to pay your bill, or your Netflix get cancelled because you didn't allocate it on payday. Pay yourself first, then pay the man. The third thing I would say is to even name those accounts. So mine are named around my goals. So the first one for a long period of time was Visa, because I knew that I was going to have to think of Visa every time money came in and allocate it accordingly. The second one I've allocated as fun, because that's the money that I spend on fun. The third one is Smile, like Scott Pape. That's something that I'm saving towards in the medium term. And the fourth one is Mojo, to get your mojo back. Scott Pape talks about that, or actually holidays, naming it after the holiday that you're working towards. Remember, as I said, money is psychological, money is emotional. If you've got little triggers that you can place there, every time that you look at your bank account, you'll be thinking about how you spend that money. It will influence you. So what have I talked about? Paying yourself first, paying the man, having a structure, be it a pyramid, be it a pie, be it a budget. You've got to have a system in place. Find something that works for you. And then the last thing I would say on this is be gentle on yourself. Trial a system. Give it a go for 1, 2, 3 months. If it isn't working, try something a little bit differently. But without a system, you've got no idea where you're at or where you're going or how you're going to get there. And that's one of the ways that you can get yourself into a lot of mess. I found it really distressing when I read that the #1 cause of divorce is financial mismanagement or financial issues. It makes me super sad. I'm not married yet, but I really wouldn't want that to be the thing that brings me and my partner apart. Equally, I've seen so many people, myself included, set themselves back years because of poor financial decisions. So if you can get a system in place now, one that you can review, because life is fluid, life will change. Don't beat yourself up if it doesn't work the first month, but have a system that you can work towards and come back to, and you've won half the battle as far as I'm concerned. So that was session number 2. Get a grip on a system that works for you. I really hope that was useful. Next time we'll be looking a little bit more into expenditure and other things that I've tried. I've put some little resources down below that will hopefully be of use to you too. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear the things that you find useful, not useful. Send me an inbox or write some comments underneath. That aside, know that you're loved, know that you are doing really well to even be considering this in the first place, and I really hope that we can learn a lot from each other in the future. Have a great weekend.